Ladies and gentlemen, there is a voice inside you, a whisper that speaks to your spirit. It guides you, warns you, and shields you from harm. But too often we ignore it. Too often we choose to silence the very thing that's trying to protect us. That voice, the Holy Spirit, doesn't shout. It doesn't beg. It doesn't argue. It warns quietly but firmly when something or someone is not what they seem, when they're fake. The Holy Spirit warns you out of love, not fear. This truth is profound because it shifts the perspective many of us have about warnings and guidance. Often, when we hear the word warning, we associate it with fear, alarm, or impending doom. But the warnings from the Holy Spirit are not rooted in these negative emotions. They are grounded in a deep, unwavering love for you, love so profound that it seeks to protect you, guide you, and keep you aligned with your purpose. The Spirit doesn't warn you to scare you, it warns you to prepare you, to save you from unnecessary pain, and to ensure you remain on the path that leads to peace, growth, and blessings. Imagine a parent warning a child not to touch a hot stove. That warning isn't given out of anger or frustration, it's born out of love. The parent doesn't want the child to get hurt. In the same way, the Holy Spirit, as a perfect guide and protector, sees what we cannot. It understands dangers that are invisible to us, intentions that are hidden, and outcomes we cannot foresee. When it warns you about a situation, a decision, or even a person, it's because it desires what's best for you. The love it carries for you is not passive, it is active and deeply invested in your well-being. But here's where it gets challenging. Love-based warnings don't always feel comfortable. They often require you to confront things you don't want to face. They may lead you to let go of people, habits, or opportunities that you've convinced yourself are good for you. The Spirit's love isn't about temporary comfort, it's about eternal impact. It's about guiding you toward truth and away from deception, even if the truth requires sacrifice or discomfort in the short term. This is not the kind of love that lets you stumble through life unchecked. It's the kind of love that pulls you back when you're about to walk into harm's way. Fear, on the other hand, paralyzes. It clouds judgment, limits your vision, and creates chaos within your heart and mind. The Holy Spirit's love does the opposite. Even in its warnings, it brings peace, clarity, and assurance. You may not understand why you're being urged to avoid a certain path or to reevaluate a certain relationship, but there is always a divine purpose behind it. The Spirit sees the trap set before you and works to redirect your steps. It's love in its purest form, love that acts as a shield, a guide, and a source of wisdom. Think about the times in your life when you've ignored that inner voice, that nudge that told you something wasn't right. Perhaps you felt uneasy about a decision or noticed subtle red flags about a person, but you brushed it off thinking it was just your imagination. Looking back, you might realize that those moments of unease were the Holy Spirit trying to warn you. And when you didn't listen, you likely faced consequences that could have been avoided. That's not to say you were punished, far from it. Instead, it's a reminder that ignoring divine guidance often leads to struggles we were never meant to endure. Listening to the Holy Spirit is an act of trust. It requires faith to believe that the warnings you receive are rooted in love, even when they don't align with your own desires. It's tempting to hold on to what feels familiar or to chase what looks appealing on the surface, but the Spirit sees beyond appearances. It discerns the true nature of things, the intentions of others, the consequences of actions, and the ripple effects of choices. Its love for you is so great that it won't let you settle for less than what you were created for. There's also a refining element to the Spirit's love-based warnings. It's not just about protecting you from external threats, it's about shaping you into the person you're meant to be. Sometimes the warning isn't about someone else being fake, it's about recognizing and addressing the ways you might be living inauthentically. The Spirit's love doesn't just shield, it transforms. It calls you to step into the truth of who you are, to let go of pretense, and to walk in alignment with your purpose. The Holy Spirit's warnings are also deeply personal. They're tailored to your journey, your struggles, and your potential. What it warns you about may not make sense to others, but it doesn't have to. The Spirit knows you intimately, better than you know yourself. It knows what you need to avoid and what you need to embrace. It knows how to guide you in a way that leads to your growth and fulfillment. This personalized love is a testament to how deeply the Spirit cares for you. It's not just about keeping you safe, it's about helping you thrive. When you begin to see the Spirit's warnings as acts of love, you'll stop resisting them. Instead of questioning why you're being redirected or why certain doors are closing, you'll start to trust that it's all for your good. You'll start to recognize that the Spirit isn't trying to take something away from you, it's trying to lead you towards something greater. And that's the beauty of love. It always seeks to elevate, to protect, and to bring out the best in you. In moments of doubt, when you're tempted to ignore the warnings, remember this: the Holy Spirit's love for you is unwavering. It's not conditional. It's not based on whether you listen or obey. But when you choose to heed its warnings, you align yourself with a plan that is infinitely greater than anything you could imagine. You step into a life guided by love, truth, and divine purpose. That's the power of the Holy Spirit's love, a love that warns, a love that protects, and a love that never, ever fails. True discernment starts with confronting the fake within yourself. It's a challenging reality, but one we must face if we desire authenticity in our lives. Often we are quick to point out the flaws, deceptions, or insincerities in others, yet slow to turn that mirror inward. The Holy Spirit teaches that discernment isn't just about identifying what's wrong outside of you. It begins with a deep, honest reflection on what's happening within. To truly discern, to separate truth from lies, we must first strip away the mask we wear and the false narratives we cling to about ourselves. The idea of fake isn't limited to deliberate deceit. It can manifest in subtler ways, like pretending to be happy when you're not, suppressing your true feelings to fit in, or projecting confidence when deep down you feel insecure. These behaviors might seem harmless, even necessary at times, but they can erode your sense of self over time. When you live disconnected from your truth, discernment becomes clouded. You start to lose sight of who you are, making it harder to distinguish between what's real and what's fake in the world around you. Confronting the fake within yourself requires courage. It's not easy to admit where you've been dishonest with yourself or where you've allowed fear, pride, or shame to dictate your actions. But this confrontation is essential because it's the only way to clear the path for true discernment. You cannot effectively identify deception in others if you're still deceiving yourself. The Holy Spirit calls you to authenticity, not because it's easy, but because it's necessary for growth, healing, and genuine connection with God and others. One of the first steps in confronting the fake within is acknowledging your vulnerabilities. It's human to want to appear strong, capable, and in control, but pretending to have it all together can lead to internal conflict. Vulnerability doesn't mean weakness, it means being honest about where you're struggling, where you need help, and where you've fallen short. This honesty invites the Holy Spirit to work in those areas, bringing light to the shadows and healing to the wounds you've tried to hide. Another aspect of confronting the fake is recognizing the ways you may seek validation from others. When you rely too heavily on external approval, you risk molding yourself into someone you think others want you to be, rather than who you truly are. The need for validation can lead to compromising your values, suppressing your voice, or living a life that feels disconnected from your core. True discernment requires that you break free from this cycle. It asks you to find your worth not in the opinions of others, but in the unchanging truth of who God says you are. Pride is another barrier to true discernment. It's tempting to believe that you're always right, that your perspective is the only valid one, or that you're immune to being wrong. But pride blinds you to your own flaws and weaknesses. It creates a false sense of superiority that makes it difficult to see things clearly. Confronting the fake within means humbling yourself and acknowledging that you don't have all the answers. It means being open to correction, to learning, and to growing. The process of self-confrontation isn't meant to be condemning, it's meant to be freeing. When you allow the Holy Spirit to reveal the areas where you've been inauthentic, it's not to shame you, but to liberate you. Each layer of falsehood you shed brings you closer to the person you were created to be. It allows you to walk in truth with clarity and confidence, unburdened by the weight of pretending or performing. As you confront the fake within, you'll find that your discernment sharpens. When you're honest with yourself, it becomes easier to recognize honesty in others. When you live in alignment with your truth, you become more attuned to the truth around you. The Spirit's guidance becomes clearer, and you begin to see situations and people for what they truly are, not through the distorted lens of your own unacknowledged issues, but with clarity and wisdom. True discernment is a gift, but it's also a skill that requires practice. And that practice begins with you. Take time to reflect on your thoughts, actions, and motivations. Ask yourself hard questions. Am I being true to myself? Am I living in alignment with my values? Am I seeking approval at the cost of authenticity? As you wrestle with these questions, invite the Holy Spirit into the process. Its role is not to condemn, but to guide, to comfort, and to empower you to live in truth. When you confront the fake within, you open the door to transformation. You allow the Spirit to refine you, to strip away what isn't real, and to build you up in truth and love. This transformation not only benefits you, but also impacts the way you interact with others. You become a person of integrity, someone who speaks and acts from a place of authenticity. And in a world where so much is fake, this authenticity is a powerful testimony to the truth and love of God. Ultimately, confronting the fake within yourself is an act of love. It's about loving yourself enough to let go of pretense, loving God enough to trust His guidance, and loving others enough to show up as your true self. It's not an easy journey, but it's one that leads to freedom, clarity, and a deeper connection with the Spirit. True discernment starts within, and when you embrace it, you begin to see the world and your place in it with fresh eyes and an open heart. Listen for peace. It is the hallmark of the Holy Spirit's guidance. In a world filled with noise, chaos, and conflicting voices, the stillness of peace is one of the most reliable indicators of divine direction. The Holy Spirit operates in ways that bring clarity, assurance, and a sense of calm, even in the most uncertain situations. This peace is not the absence of challenges or difficulty. It is the presence of a deep, unshakable confidence that surpasses understanding. It is a quiet knowing, a settled feeling that reassures your spirit when you're walking in alignment with God's will. There's a reason why peace stands out as a marker of the Holy Spirit's guidance. Unlike emotions that can fluctuate like fear, doubt, or excitement, peace is steady. It is not driven by external circumstances, but by the internal assurance that you are on the right path. It doesn't scream for attention or demand urgency. Instead, it gently nudges, affirming your decisions and actions with a profound sense of tranquility. When the Holy Spirit guides you, it brings this peace, helping you to discern truth from falsehood and direction from distraction. Peace also has a way of cutting through the noise of life. In moments of indecision, when you're overwhelmed by options or weighed down by uncertainty, listening for peace can bring clarity. The Holy Spirit's peace is distinct. It settles your heart, quiets your mind, and removes confusion. It doesn't always come with all the answers, but it provides enough assurance for the next step. You may not see the entire path laid out before you, but the peace of the Spirit confirms that you're headed in the right direction. However, listening for peace requires patience. The Spirit doesn't operate on human timelines or conform to the pressure of immediate gratification. Often it calls you to wait, to trust, and to lean into the stillness. This can be challenging in a world that values quick decisions and instant results. But when you rush without listening for peace, you risk making choices that lead to regret or turmoil. The Spirit's peace is worth waiting for because it brings a depth of assurance that no amount of external validation can replicate. It's important to recognize that peace doesn't always mean ease. There will be times when the Spirit's guidance leads you to take risks, confront uncomfortable truths, or make sacrifices. Yet even in these challenging moments, peace remains. It acts as a reminder that you are not alone, that the Spirit is walking with you, and that you can trust the process. This peace is what allows you to face difficult circumstances with grace and confidence, knowing that you are being led by something greater than yourself. Listening for peace also requires you to quiet your own mind. Worries, doubts, and fears can drown out the subtle whispers of the Holy Spirit. It takes intentional effort to tune out the noise and focus on the stillness within. This might mean spending time in prayer, meditation, or reflection, creating space for the Spirit's guidance to be heard. It's in these quiet moments that the peace of the Spirit becomes most evident, guiding you gently but firmly toward what is right. One of the challenges of listening for peace is distinguishing it from fleeting emotions. Excitement or relief can sometimes masquerade as peace, but they are temporary and tied to circumstances. True peace, the kind that comes from the Holy Spirit, is enduring. It remains even when the excitement fades or when relief gives way to new challenges. It is not dependent on outcomes or conditions. It is rooted in the Spirit's presence and some promises. This is why it's so important to take time to discern, to sit with your feelings, and to seek confirmation through prayer and reflection. The peace of the Holy Spirit also serves as a safeguard against deception. In a world where appearances can be misleading and intentions can be hidden, peace acts as a filter. It helps you recognize what is genuine and what is not. If a decision or relationship brings unease or restlessness, it's often a sign that something is off. The Spirit's guidance never comes with confusion or anxiety. It always brings clarity and reassurance. Learning to trust this peace is a critical part of developing spiritual discernment. Ultimately, listening for peace is an act of trust. It requires you to surrender your own desires, timelines, and plans to the guidance of the Spirit. It's a reminder that you don't have to have all the answers or figure everything out on your own. The Holy Spirit is there to guide you, to lead you into truth, and to provide the peace that sustains you. By listening for peace, you align yourself with the Spirit's will, allowing it to shape your decisions, actions, and life in ways that bring fulfillment and purpose. This peace is a gift, one that reassures you of God's presence and love. It is the hallmark of the Spirit's guidance, a sign that you are being led by something greater than yourself. When you listen for peace and follow its leading, you not only find clarity and direction, but also experience the deep, abiding joy that comes from walking in harmony with the Spirit. Peace is the Spirit's signature, a gentle but powerful reminder that you are exactly where you need to be. Not everyone can go where you're destined to be. Let go of what's fake. This truth may be hard to accept, but it's essential for growth, purpose, and fulfilling your destiny. The path to where you're called is unique, personal, and often requires shedding the weight of what doesn't serve you, including fake relationships, habits, and mindsets. It's not about casting judgment or holding resentment. It's about understanding that not everyone is equipped to walk alongside you in the journey that God has designed for you. Life has seasons, and people come into your life for reasons, seasons, or lifetimes. Some connections are meant to teach you, shape you, or support you for a time, but not all are meant to stay. The Holy Spirit often reveals who or what is holding you back when you're seeking clarity about your purpose. It might be difficult to face, but discernment requires you to evaluate the authenticity of those around you. Are they helping you grow? Are they walking in alignment with your values, or are they rooted in pretense, pulling you away from your higher calling? Letting go of what's fake is not just about relationships, it's about the false narratives and expectations you carry within yourself. Sometimes the biggest hindrance to reaching your destiny is clinging to the comfort of what's familiar, even if it's not real. You might hold on to a persona, a lifestyle, or even a belief that no longer aligns with where you're headed. But the truth is, you cannot embrace your future while holding on to illusions of the past. The Holy Spirit calls you to walk in truth, and walking in truth often means releasing what no longer serves your journey. The idea of letting go can feel like loss, but in reality, it's liberation. Carrying what's fake is heavy. It drains your energy, clouds your focus, and holds you in a place of stagnation. The Spirit's guidance is light and freeing. It helps you shed the unnecessary weight, creating space for what's authentic, meaningful, and aligned with your destiny. Letting go doesn't diminish your worth, it affirms it. It says you value your purpose enough to surround yourself with what is real and uplifting. As you walk your path, you'll notice that not everyone will understand your journey. Some may question your decisions or try to pull you back into old patterns. This is where discernment becomes vital. The Holy Spirit provides wisdom to recognize who is meant to walk with you and who is not. Not everyone can see your vision, and that's okay. It's not their journey to understand, it's yours to pursue. Trust that those who are genuine will respect your path, even if it leads you in a different direction. Letting go of what's fake also involves trust in the Spirit, trust in the process, and trust in yourself. The Spirit doesn't reveal falsehoods to punish you, but to protect you. It shows you what's fake so you can step into what's real. This process may feel uncomfortable at times, but it's necessary for growth. Sometimes what you're letting go of isn't bad in itself, it's just not meant for where you're going. Your destiny requires you to align fully with what is true, and anything less than that will only hold you back. When you release what's fake, you make room for what's authentic. This authenticity might not always come in the form of ease or comfort, but it will bring peace and fulfillment. True relationships, real opportunities, and genuine growth can only come when you're willing to let go of what's false. This doesn't mean there won't be challenges. Sometimes the most difficult part of the journey is walking away from something that once felt significant but no longer aligns with your purpose. The process of letting go is not about rejection, but about redirection. It's about aligning yourself with God's will and trusting that what's ahead is greater than what you're leaving behind. This trust is an act of faith, a declaration that you believe in the Spirit's guidance and that you're willing to follow it. Even when the path requires sacrifice, the Spirit doesn't guide you to let go without providing something greater in return. What's real, what's lasting, and what's true will come into your life as you release what's fake. You are destined for greatness, but not everyone is meant to be part of that journey. It's not a reflection of their value or yours, it's simply the reality of purpose. As you let go of what's fake, you'll find that the Spirit equips you with everything you need for the next step. It removes distractions, clarifies your vision, and strengthens your resolve. Trust this process and embrace the freedom that comes with authenticity. Where you're going is too important to carry the weight of what's not real. Let go and step boldly into your destiny. Trust the process, even when it involves painful pruning. Growth is rarely easy, and the path to becoming the person you are destined to be often requires shedding parts of yourself, your surroundings, or your habits. This process can feel uncomfortable, even excruciating at times, but it is a necessary step in preparing you for your higher calling. Painful pruning is not a punishment, it is a refining process orchestrated by the Holy Spirit to shape you, strengthen you, and make room for the greatness that is yet to come. Pruning is an act of care. A gardener doesn't cut away branches aimlessly. They remove what is hindering the plant's growth, whether it's dead weight, overgrowth, or branches that draw energy from the healthier parts. Similarly, the Spirit's pruning in your life is intentional. It removes what is no longer serving you, even if you're emotionally attached to it. It might be a relationship, a habit, or even an opportunity that seemed perfect at one time but is now standing in the way of where you need to go. The pain of pruning often comes from our resistance. We hold tightly to what's familiar, even if it's unhealthy or unhelpful. Change is unsettling, and letting go can feel like losing a part of yourself. But the Spirit's guidance always leads to growth, even if the process feels like loss at first. Trusting the process means believing that what's being removed from your life is making space for something better, something more aligned with your purpose and potential. It's in these moments of pruning that faith is most essential. Trusting the process requires surrender, releasing your grip on what you think you need, and embracing the Spirit's plan, even when you don't fully understand it. The Spirit sees the bigger picture, the outcome you cannot yet envision. While you may feel pain in the moment, the Spirit is preparing you for fruitfulness, for abundance, for something greater than you imagined. Trust that this temporary discomfort is working for your good. The pruning process also reveals your true strength. It forces you to confront what you rely on and where you place your trust. When the Spirit removes something you thought was essential, you're reminded of your dependence on God, not on people, possessions, or circumstances. This can feel humbling, even disorienting, but it also builds resilience. It reminds you that your source of strength is not external, but internal, rooted in the Spirit's power and guidance. Trusting the process doesn't mean you won't feel the pain. It's natural to grieve what you lose, to question why certain things had to happen, and to wonder what's next. But even in your pain, the Spirit is present, offering comfort and reassurance. The pruning is not the end, it's a step toward a new beginning. With every cut, the Spirit is removing what limits you and revealing the beauty and potential that lies within you. Painful pruning often brings clarity. When you're stripped of distractions or crutches, you're forced to focus on what truly matters. It's in these moments of stillness and vulnerability that the Spirit speaks most clearly. You begin to see what you couldn't see before: opportunities, strengths, and truths that were hidden beneath the overgrowth. The pruning process, though painful, clears the way for fresh vision and renewed purpose. As you endure this process, remember that you are being prepared for something greater. Just as a prune tree produces more fruit, you will emerge stronger, more focused, and more capable of fulfilling your purpose. The Spirit's work in your life is always aimed at your growth, even when it feels like you're losing something important. Trust that what's being taken away is making room for what you truly need. Painful pruning teaches you to let go and lean in. Let go of what no longer serves you and lean into the Spirit's guidance. Trust that every cut is intentional, every loss is purposeful, and every challenge is an opportunity for growth. The process may not make sense now, but in time, you'll see the fruits of your faith. You'll look back and realize that what felt like loss was actually gain, that what felt like the end was the beginning of something extraordinary. The Spirit's pruning is a sign of love and care. It's a reminder that you are not forgotten, that you are being shaped for greatness, and that your life has purpose. Trust the process even when it hurts. Embrace the pruning, knowing that it is not breaking you but building you. Through the pain, the Spirit is preparing you for a season of fruitfulness, growth, and fulfillment beyond anything you've imagined. The Holy Spirit equips and strengthens you for what's ahead. Life is filled with challenges, uncertainties, and paths that can feel overwhelming. Yet, in the midst of all this, the Spirit is working within you, preparing you for every obstacle, every opportunity, and every moment of growth that lies ahead. You are not walking this journey alone, and you are not expected to rely solely on your own strength. The Spirit's power is your foundation, your guide, and your source of resilience. The equipping process begins with understanding that you have been chosen for a purpose. The Spirit doesn't call you to a path without providing what you need to walk it. Sometimes the tools and strengths you are given don't make sense in the moment. You may wonder why you are facing certain challenges or why the road seems so steep. But the Spirit sees what's coming and equips you accordingly. You're being prepared for battles you don't yet see, for opportunities you haven't yet encountered, and for victories you don't yet realize are possible. Strengthening often comes through trials. It's during the difficult moments when you feel stretched and tested that the Spirit's power becomes evident. Challenges are not meant to break you, but to refine you. They reveal the strength you didn't know you had, the courage you didn't know you could muster, and the faith you didn't know could sustain you. The Spirit doesn't just give you strength for the moment, it builds lasting resilience within you. Every trial is a step in preparing you for what's ahead, a way of ensuring you are ready for the future. The Spirit's equipping is not just about external circumstances, it's about transforming you from within. You are given wisdom to discern, peace to endure, and faith to persevere. These internal tools are far more powerful than anything external because they align you with the Spirit's guidance. When your heart and mind are aligned with the Spirit, you can face any challenge with confidence, knowing that you are prepared not by the world's standards, but by divine strength and purpose. Equipping also involves revealing and developing your gifts. The Holy Spirit has placed unique abilities and callings within you. These gifts may be dormant, unnoticed, or even doubted, but the Spirit knows exactly how to awaken them. As you grow in your relationship with the Spirit, you begin to discover these strengths and learn how to use them. Sometimes the equipping comes through opportunities to serve, moments of clarity, or even through the encouragement of others. Each step is part of the Spirit's plan to prepare you for your journey. There are times when the Spirit's equipping feels like a mystery. You might not recognize the lessons you're learning or the ways you're being strengthened until you look back and see the evidence of the Spirit's work. In hindsight, you realize that the Spirit was always preparing you, even in the moments when you felt weakest or most uncertain. This perspective strengthens your trust and allows you to move forward with greater confidence, knowing that you are being equipped for the road ahead. The Spirit also provides what you need when you need it. You don't have to have all the answers or all the strength right now. The Spirit equips you moment by moment, step by step, ensuring that you have exactly what is required for the situation you're facing. This process teaches you to trust, to lean on the Spirit rather than on your own understanding or abilities. It's a reminder that you are not alone, that divine strength is always within reach. When the Spirit strengthens you, it's not just for your benefit. The equipping you receive is often meant to bless others, to encourage, uplift, and guide those around you. Your journey, your struggles, and your victories become a testimony of the Spirit's power and faithfulness. In this way, the Spirit's equipping is not just about preparing you for what's ahead, but about empowering you to be a light and a source of strength for others. Finally, the Spirit equips you with hope. Hope is one of the most powerful tools you can carry. It keeps you moving forward even when the road is tough. It reminds you that there is purpose in the pain, that there is a plan in the process, and that there is joy waiting at the end of the journey. This hope is not fleeting or based on circumstances. It is grounded in the Spirit's promise to guide, strengthen, and equip you every step of the way. The Spirit's equipping is perfect and complete. It may not always look the way you expect, and it may come through unexpected challenges, but it is always exactly what you need. Trust in this process. Trust that the Spirit sees what's ahead and is preparing you for it in ways you cannot yet understand. You are stronger, wiser, and more capable than you realize because the Spirit is at work within you, equipping and strengthening you for the extraordinary journey that lies ahead. Walking in truth requires courage and unwavering faith. It's not an easy path, but it's the most rewarding one. Truth demands honesty, integrity, and a willingness to face the reality of life, no matter how challenging it might be. It calls you to rise above comfort, to confront falsehood, and to remain steadfast even when the road is lonely. It's not the path most people choose, but it's the path that leads to genuine freedom and fulfillment. Walking in truth is a journey that tests your heart, stretches your spirit, and ultimately transforms your life. Courage is the first requirement for walking in truth. It takes courage to face the truth about yourself, about others, and about the world around you. Truth reveals what is real, not what is convenient or comfortable. It might expose flaws, mistakes, or weaknesses you'd rather ignore. It might challenge long-held beliefs or demand changes you feel unprepared to make. But courage doesn't mean being fearless, it means moving forward despite your fear. It's about trusting that the truth, no matter how difficult, is always worth pursuing. The truth often puts you at odds with the majority. The world is filled with half-truths, deceptions, and illusions designed to keep people in a cycle of complacency. Choosing to walk in truth sets you apart, and that can feel isolating. It takes courage to stand firm in your convictions when others doubt you, question you, or even oppose you. But the Spirit empowers you to remain steadfast. You're not walking this path alone. The Spirit is with you, guiding you and strengthening you every step of the way. Faith is the foundation that sustains you as you walk in truth. There will be times when the truth feels heavy, when the challenges seem insurmountable, or when you question if it's worth it. In these moments, faith becomes your anchor. Faith reminds you that truth is not just an abstract concept. It is rooted in the Spirit's guidance and the promises of God. It assures you that walking in truth, even when it's hard, is always the right choice because it aligns you with divine purpose and leads to ultimate victory. Walking in truth requires faith in yourself as well. You must believe in your ability to discern what is right and to stand by it. This self-trust grows as you continue to choose truth, even in small ways. Each time you speak honestly, act with integrity, or confront a difficult situation with authenticity, you strengthen your resolve and deepen your confidence. This faith in yourself is not about arrogance. It's about recognizing that the Spirit is working within you, equipping you to live a life of truth. Living in truth also means being vulnerable. It means admitting when you're wrong, seeking forgiveness when you've hurt someone, and being open about your struggles and weaknesses. This vulnerability is not a sign of weakness, but of strength. It shows that you value truth over appearances and integrity over image. Being vulnerable requires courage because it exposes you to judgment or rejection. Yet, it's through this openness that real growth happens, both within you and in your relationships. Walking in truth challenges you to let go of what's false. It might be a relationship built on deception, a career path that doesn't align with your values, or even a self-image rooted in pride or fear. Letting go of these falsehoods can feel like a loss, but it's actually a gain. It frees you to live authentically and to build a life that reflects who you truly are. The Spirit gives you the strength to make these difficult choices and the assurance that you're walking in the right direction. The courage and faith required to walk in truth are rewarded with freedom. Truth liberates you from the chains of fear, guilt, and shame. It allows you to live with a clear conscience and a sense of purpose. It gives you the confidence to face whatever comes your way because you know you're standing on a solid foundation. This freedom is not just for you, it inspires others. Your commitment to truth can encourage those around you to seek it as well, creating a ripple effect of authenticity and integrity. Walking in truth is a daily choice. It's not something you decide once and never think about again. Each day presents new opportunities to choose truth over convenience, integrity over compromise, and faith over fear. It's a journey of growth, one that requires constant reliance on the Spirit and a willingness to keep moving forward, no matter how difficult the road may seem. But every step you take in truth is a step toward the life you were created to live, one of purpose, freedom, and fulfillment. The Spirit calls you to walk in truth because it is the path to your highest potential. It's not the easiest road, but it is the most worthwhile. With courage and unwavering faith, you can face any challenge, overcome any obstacle, and live a life that honors both your own integrity and the Spirit's guidance. Walking in truth transforms not only your life, but also the lives of those around you. It lights a path of hope, authenticity, and grace for others to follow. So take the first step. Trust the process and keep walking in truth. You said, write a conclusion of entire speech. ChatGPT said, ChatGPT. In conclusion, walking in truth is not just a choice, it is a commitment to live with integrity, courage, and unwavering faith. The journey may not always be easy, and the road may be filled with challenges, but the rewards are immeasurable. Truth frees you from the burden of lies, deception, and the fear of judgment. It empowers you to stand tall in your authenticity, knowing that the Spirit is with you every step of the way, equipping you with the strength and wisdom you need to face whatever comes. Choosing to walk in truth requires you to confront what's fake, let go of what holds you back, and embrace the process of transformation. It demands courage to stand firm in your convictions, even when the world around you is uncertain or resistant. And it calls for faith in yourself, in the Spirit's guidance, and in the promises that truth will always lead you to a place of freedom, purpose, and peace. As you continue on this journey, remember that you are not alone. The Spirit is your constant companion, your source of strength and wisdom. With every step you take in truth, you become more aligned with your true purpose and the destiny that awaits you. So walk boldly in truth, for it is the path that will set you free and allow you to live a life of lasting impact and fulfillment. Keep trusting, keep believing, and keep moving forward, knowing that the truth is always your guide and the Spirit is always there to strengthen you.